Love the intro.
Welcome to another episode of 35 All Grip. I'm Dan Arney, and I'm here with Sean Graves today.
Nice to be here, Dan.
Awesome. Glad to have you in town so we can do this. Got a little intro here for the people that might not know you.
Awesome. Looking forward to this.
Sean has a need for speed on whatever has wheels. He's helped keep the East Coast scene glued together with his contributions to events. He's a father of 4 and the pirate captain of the skate farm.
Sweet.
So, if you wanted to tell the people, what is the skate farm?
The skate farm's my home. It's a place that I envision where you can just kind of be and skate and enjoy life, and building a skate park and hopefully eventually some paved spaces so that way we can bomb some tiny hills and run some cones.
I would love that. I still gotta make my way out to the skate farm. Where's the skate farm located?
So the skate farm's in Maryland. It's in Walkersville, which is a little bit outside of Frederick, and it's a beautiful place. And it's kind of like the Appalachian Mountains. Just we don't have the hills that you guys have, unfortunately.
It looks sick. I want to come ride dirt bikes
Oh yeah, dude.
around the property.
Always fun ripping dirt bikes around the farm and all the toys. It's really a fun place to be.
That's awesome. Speaking of motorcycles, you have quite the love for motorcycles, don't you?
Oh yeah, now I have a pretty hefty collection at my house, and I always like sharing them with the friends and seeing people do stupid stuff on the dirt bikes. And so yeah, I have a couple pit bikes, a couple full-size dirt bikes, and a couple motorcycles that I rip around on.
You got some fast ones, don't you?
Yeah, I got some fast ones, and I've hit some speeds on them. It's cool.
Do you want to talk about? You had a kind of time on a motorcycle.
Yeah, we can talk about that. Before we get too far though, I came here today and I'm really happy that you're doing what you're doing with this and kind of helping with spread the community and making people aware of how awesome downhill skateboarding is. So I just want to bring you this gift, and as a racer and someone who's currently the king of Elk Mountain in my mind, I've brought you this trophy.
Okay. I'm opening it up. People that are listening. What is this? We got a shirt? What is this? Oh, shit. Mustache Derby? Dude, what? Thank you, Sean. Oh my gosh, there's an ice in here.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck?
Happy birthday.
Oh, sick.
So,
Dude.
As the king of elk in North Carolina and the current Strava champ, you might have to take that off.
Yeah. I'm putting this on for the
you
interview.
currently have the medallion as the king.
All right, folks, you heard it here first. Thank you, Sean.
Yeah, no problem.
Do I guess I gotta drink this right now.
Yeah, no, that's
Fuck.
why we didn't want to get too far into things. Just want to make sure you got iced properly.
It's still cold. Cheers.
Cheers. Bottoms up. Finishing it like a champ. An excellent downhill skateboarding tradition.
Thank you, Sean. That was really nice of you, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm really excited about this necklace. Well, let's go the other way since we got this Mustache Derby shirt out. You want to talk to the people about Mustache Derby?
Yeah.
What it is?
Yeah, so guess it was like probably 2009 or 2010. Or no, 2009 when I threw the first Mustache Derby. And being that I was in Central PA at the time and didn't really have anybody within like a 2-hour radius of me that wanted downhill, I decided that the best way to get all my friends on the East Coast who like skateboarding downhills together was to throw a party basically at my house and throw an outlaw and get everybody together and kind of do what we did at Grapevine and ride around the hills and have a good ass weekend.
That's awesome. I was looking at a video. I think Avery might have edited it. Actually, it was pretty old.
Dude, that was, I think, one of Avery's first races, and he was such, like, there were so many little kids, like, that were out at the scene, and then there was, like, Anthony and some older people, but it was super wholesome and fun at the time, just seeing Avery be an adult now. It's wild.
Yeah, pretty wild. Y'all had the, like, hookup on gear, too. I was like, y'all had some sponsors for this event.
Yeah, so I, back in high school, a buddy of mine and I, we had the idea that we would just write a whole bunch of beer companies and liquor companies and try and get stuff for a party that we were going to have. Also underage at the time, but we were able to get, like, we won't talk about the companies. We were able to get a few companies to send us some free swag for a party. And we just, it's a matter of kind of looking legitimate and having a good cover letter, and you're going to get stuff to happen.
Oh my gosh. So you transitioned those skills to longboarding.
Yeah. I was basically like, the scene is what it is, right? All the companies, I'm having a legit event. Like, it's not necessarily a sanctioned closed road, but we're having a good time and we want to stoke out the community. So I would have as many people that write everybody, and not everybody hit, but the more things you throw out there, the more are going to stick.
What's like a memorable mustache from the Mustache Derby, like all time? Would you say?
There are a lot of them, but honestly, one of the best memories was we had a day where it just got like soaking wet, and it was the day before the race, and so it wasn't like really much to skate because the road was wet and not everybody's down to bomb hills in the rain. So we basically had a slide jam on one of the steepest like hills that I had in Clearfield, and it was like, yeah, let's just see who can slide the farthest in the rain. And it was just like cannonballing down a straight and then throwing a big Coleman and bowling your way down the hill. It was super fun.
Oh, that sounds incredible.
Yeah.
No kidding. What a cool event.
Yeah. So it was something I did for 4 years. I ended up moving to Maryland, and through the last one in Maryland, I actually got Flying Dog Brewery to sponsor the event that year. And they gave everybody who came out to the event free tours and free beer chips. So we ended up going to the brewery and having a party. We had a rockabilly band playing in my basement. I had a mini ramp at the time in the basement, and people camping out at the farm. It was a really fun weekend.
Jeez, I wish I could have been there.
Yeah, good times.
I wasn't even downhilling yet.
Well, at that time, it was like that last year I did was 2012, and being that like the road that we had it on was a little bit gnarlier. It was Jackson Mountain in Maryland, which Ed Garner knows about, and Dan and a bunch of other people. It's a really chundery road, and people have gotten broke off there. But so I basically made it an invite only, but still had 70 people camping out and hanging out at my house.
Oh my gosh!
But we had like I think 20 or 25 or 30 people racing.
Okay,
it was a good time.
Those are definitely at least a few rounds of racing then.
Oh yeah, no, it was a few rounds of racing, and we raced in the rain too. It's like one of my favorite things to do, honestly, is racing in the rain.
So that was a Mustache Derby?
Yeah, that was the last Mustache Derby.
Just on a different
hill, because the first few I had in Pennsylvania, and there was like this mellow hill that we ended up having on it. The first time actually we had it, the cops rolled up on our practice hill, like the hill we were actually going to race on. So the cops rolled up when we were running practice runs before we even got to race. And so when they got there, I talked to the police. I'm like, hey, like there's this other place that I want to go to. Are you guys cool if we go there? Are you going to not give us a hard time? And they're like, yeah, it's fine. Because it was like one of the local parks, and it was just the hill up. So it was one way we could kind of control traffic, and it was like a left, right, like S-turn. It was fun. It's something anybody could do.
It looked cool.
Yeah, no, it was a great time.
For sure.
Good for drafting, good for passing.
I mean, those kind of races are honestly the funnest too.
Yeah, like
not stressful.
Yeah, when everybody can compete, it really puts it on a level where it really helps people kind of progress. And that's what that's what helps build the communities, when you can have a place where anybody can go. Like Soldiers is awesome, but not everybody can ride Soldiers. So you got to have places where people can, go 30 miles an hour instead of going 60.
Yeah, no doubt.
Always 35 all grip, right?
Yeah, it always is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a, speaking of Soldiers of Downhill, I actually have a guest question.
All right, yeah, let's hear it.
From Avery Wilcox.
Hey, Sean, it's Avery. Hyped you're getting this interview, man. This is exciting stuff. I really want to take a moment here to thank you for all the work you put into so many events. I mean, Soldiers of Downhill and before that Mustache Derby were all really big events for me, really kind of some of the first efforts I had in skating. And I just want to ask, I guess, what your favorite memory is associated with Soldiers of Downhill. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Awesome. Miss Avery, always happy to see you at Soldiers every year. It's hard to like pin down one favorite memory of Soldiers because Dan and I have done like 10 or 11 of them, I think, now at this point. But I've been to every single Soldiers. I've never missed a Soldiers. I've had some really gnarly experiences in my life that have made it hard to get there, but I think I've ridden the hill every year, like even despite some of the injuries. I think I'm also the only person who's ever ridden Soldiers without leathers during the event. Sorry, Dan. That's one of our rules that Dan just doesn't like anybody to break because you don't want anybody to get seriously hurt. So
Yeah, understandable, you know?
But I guess it's not my favorite memory, but a unique memory from Soldiers is being that I was organizing all the sponsorships and everything, and I had all the swag for the event at my house. One year, my dog at the time ended up biting my neighbor's goat and killed one of their goats. So, yeah, it was crazy. So I had to dog sit. I had to goat sit these injured goats and give them shots in their ass to help, pass the time and make my neighbors not so mad. But again, I had all the stuff, so I drove all the stuff to Ohio overnight, gave it to Dan, did a run in the morning, then drove back home. And
Oh my gosh.
so I wasn't there for the whole weekend, but I was there and I got
you
a
still-
run. Yeah, I took a run. I'm not gonna
Wheels
go
on the ground.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go to Soldiers and not take a run. Like Soldiers is it has a special place in my heart.
What's your tally? How many Soldiers have you been to?
All of them. So I think it's 10 or 11 at this time. So yeah, I've run that hill every time. Like it's interesting how scary that hill felt like the first year and how we felt like we were going so fast. But now like it's like a walk in the park. It's just like whee.
Oh yeah, especially with the repave.
Oh, the roller coaster on there is just it's an incredible feeling.
It's still like a year goes by and I'm like, you know what? Like I'm gonna like smash on that road, and then you like take your first run and you're like, whoa, this road is like it still
hits.
It holds up.
Yeah. Despite doing it every time, I don't know. I feel like it's Dexter. There's this wee feeling that you go down like Soldiers, and I feel like there's a lot of people who just there's this noise that you make when you're like flying through the chicane, or it's a tight feeling.
Yeah, there's definitely been some good heats there.
Oh yeah, dude.
Some good partying. I'm bummed the bar's gone.
Yeah, the bar was a good memory. Like we legitimately help keep that community alive to a certain extent. Like we bring a good number of people there and we contribute to their economy. It's such a small place and the people in there love us coming, and we're glad we're coming back again this year. So
I'm so stoked to be coming back. We really need to get that bar going though. Like even if it's just for the weekend, like can y'all just open up for 2 days, 3 days?
Or we just kind of figure out a way to have a bar at the bottom of the hill.
Yeah.
Get a mobile bar. I don't know.
We
Can
could
you
make
do
that happen.
Is that possible?
It's like we could do that.
Yeah, I think we could probably have a we'll bring I have the bus, so I could just pack up a bunch of stuff and have a bar out of we'll figure something out.
All right, folks, we'll see you at the bar.
Yeah.
In the elementary school parking lot.
Oh, dude. Actually, good memory from Soldiers is camping out in the broken down elementary school. Like the first year we had Soldiers, it was bitter cold and nobody wanted to sleep outside, and we were able to somehow get into the broken down elementary school, which was like the ceilings were falling apart. The floor was like terrible, but we all like camped out in schoolrooms and were a little bit warmer on a hard floor, but it was pretty grungy.
That sounds like
and also
so
quite terrifying because there was like a horror film in there. Yeah.
That's the start of a horror movie.
Yeah. But good memories.
You're like, why are they sleeping in an abandoned elementary school?
Yeah. And now they feed us out of it or they did feed us out of it one year.
Yeah, you walk up to the window and you get God, there's always be like some random.
Yeah.
It's like by the last day, it'd be like,
I'm just hungry. I need something, please.
it's like here's oatmeal.
Yeah. Good
Cold,
stuff.
it's cold.
Yeah.
No, but shout out Bainbridge. I don't mean those breakfasts held me down.
Yeah. No, the people of Bainbridge are awesome, and it's really nice that they show up, and it's a great place to go.
What are you involved with organizing it this year?
I'm not involved. I haven't been really involved in organizing it in a couple years with Dan. I've really just kind of gone to make sure the events or not the events, but the racing and everything happens and goes down efficiently for him, because I like to make sure people get runs in. I like to make sure that the hill moves fast, because when I'm there, I want to skate. That's the only reason I'm there. I'm not there to stand around. We're no IGSA. But yeah, this year I'm going to be there again running the race. We've got Pat and Riley who are taking over for Dan, which is awesome, because organizing all the insurance and hay and ambulance, everything else, it's time consuming and it takes effort. So it's nice that we have young people who are still willing to help out and make events happen, because without people like that, the community just wouldn't continue.
Yeah, shout out. I mean, we need them to carry the torch, because I mean Dan Oliver's been doing it for 10
years. Yeah,
10
it's
years,
a long time.
He lives in California.
Yeah, no, he lives in Washington now.
In Washington.
He was
Jeez,
living in
sorry.
California, still doing it, and Washington and everywhere. So it's a matter of commitment and wanting to make sure, like, it's a party that your friends go to every year. Like, there are people there that I've, like you, Dan, I've seen. I don't even know how many soldiers have you been to?
I think I'm at like 6 or 7.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
It would have been like 10 or 9 if it didn't, there weren't years.
Right.
2 finish lines happened, and then
Yeah, that was that caused some drama, but I think it's always good to have a little drama in the community.
you said what my favorite soldiers was?
What's your favorite soldiers memory?
Favorite soldiers memory. Oh my gosh. There's been like a lot of like epic skating. We talked about in Anthony's Dex's pass.
Dude,
in the
that pass,
finals,
yeah,
like that plays back in my mind for sure as far as skating wise.
Yeah.
Just parties over the year, like everyone at the bar is always a pretty funny spectacle.
That's one of the spectacles I've never really gotten to enjoy, unfortunately, but it's all right.
It's like sometimes you don't make it to the bar because you're already too drunk, or like you don't want to go.
Well, for me, it's always been like I'm kind of taking care of my kids or putting my kids to bed, or talking with Dan, trying to figure out what the heats are, because I organize all the heats the night before and kind of throw people in, and I give a little bit of a hand to God and try and make things interesting here and there.
Yeah, I've noticed that the hand of God brackets over the years. It seems like whoever lights fireworks off, I'll get in the same heat first round. Is that what happens?
No, I try and give I don't necessarily always give my friends a good time, but I occasionally try to make it exciting for them. I want to see people race who I like to see race, and if it's happening in the first round, it's guaranteed to happen.
Oh yeah, for sure. No, the hand of God, I love it, because you're like, I don't know what's gonna happen this first heat.
Right. Yeah. No. One year we did a plinko kind of thing where you kind of dropped the ball in and it rolled into your heat, which was interesting. And I've been thinking of some other ways to do it. I like how they used to do it at Buffalo Bill with the Wheel of Death, but
Wheel of Death is super cool.
Yeah, but it takes so long. But the party during the wheel, is always a good time.
There's like some suspense to it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do that. Someone needs to build a wheel.
Yeah, North Carolina should have a wheel. I think that would be a good way for you guys to, make the community have fun and put heats together. At least maybe for GRC, we should have some sort of crazy race.
We should do something like especially if it's like the Outlaw yesterday, where like
spin it, but that like you're at the Outlaw at the hill, like spinning a wheel. It's gonna take forever.
Run like 8 rounds of racing.
Yeah.
No, but I guess favorite moments at Soldiers. I mean, just skating it in the rain the one year, I think 2017.
Mm-hmm.
That was like pretty wild. Never thought I would do that, but
yeah, Soldiers in the Rain is fire regardless. I don't know why you wouldn't want to ride Soldiers in the Rain.
All right, we're going to take a quick moment and acknowledge our first sponsor orangutan wheels. Orangutan's been putting the squeeze on the competition with the tried and true orangutan Kegel. I'm currently riding the orange ones. These are my favorite. But I'm pretty excited to check out these blue ones too. They look pretty fun. Orangutan's also in the testing process of a race wheel. They are as tall as a Kegel, but they're 70 millimeters wide. These are pretty big, so be on the lookout for those in the future. Orangutan wheels go apeshit on the hill. Like, I say this, like, if I paid to be there, I'll ride in the rain. But normally I wouldn't ride in the rain.
Dude, I'm paid to be there, and I'll still like ride in the rain. And sometimes I'm not even paid to be there. Like I've shown up for free for Dan, just because I want to see the event happen. And I'm getting to skate, so why not?
Yeah. I mean, once you kind of get used to it, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
There were some good years there. There was the Sector 9 like box truck year.
Yeah, no.
Where there was like
Jacko came out, I think, that year. It was
Jacko, Louie.
Yeah, and Jimmy, I think, was there too. Yeah, yep.
And there was like a kid rapping or something.
Oh yeah, no. And also, it's wild the random people that show up from nowhere that like aren't there for downhill skateboarding, but are there because they heard this thing is happening, and like they're there just because of whatever. I just don't understand, but it's so cool when just people out of nowhere pop up.
There are some characters showing up to the elementary school parking lot.
Yeah.
And we were calling him the Chillicothe Killer. Did you know what I was about to say?
Yeah.
Hopefully he's not listening to this right now.
Yeah, we'll be safe. See you in Bainbridge this year.
Yeah, I'm not going to actually say anything else. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch out for that dude.
Oh.
All right, I think this is a good time. I was going to do a segment I call Name That Road.
Oh, God, I'll probably be terrible at this, but yeah, let's do it.
So I'm going to describe a road to you and see if you can guess it.
Are these going to be roads I've skated, hopefully?
Hopefully you'll get it.
Okay, all right, because I honestly don't watch a lot of footage of people skating. I would rather be out there doing it, so.
All right, here goes.
All right.
First clue, there's a golf course at the bottom.
Is that Shoals?
Correct. Wow. First tee.
Yeah.
I was gonna
it's a memorable road.
I was gonna try and throw you off because like Elk has a golf course. Like there's multiple roads.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Good job, Sean.
All right.
I got another road I'm gonna describe for the listeners, and whenever this comes out, I'll post probably a reel or something on Instagram. Comment on it, the road you think it is. So here's your clue. The name of this road is in a movie Jack Black starred in. All right. So Sean, do you want to kind of go into your experience on Shoals Mill, skating Shoals Mill?
Yeah. It's a really interesting day for me. I probably only skated that road once, and I haven't skated it since that day. I should probably go back and do it because it's honestly not the hardest hill, and it was. I probably should. Yeah, I should go and do it again soon. But I had brought Freddie and Will, or maybe not Will, because Will came back with me. So we were bringing Freddie down for college at Boone, and I had my kids with me, and we basically took a road trip in my minivan with 4 kids and Freddie and Will, and Freddie sat in the middle of the back of my van in between my 2 kids in car seats the whole way down from DC to Boone. I have a really funny picture of Freddie in the back of my van. But on the road trip down, we stopped through and we rode Mordor and Lestor, and at that time in my life I was downhilling a lot without shoes, so I was skating most runs without shoes regardless of what the hill was. So yeah, there's a cool run of me at Mordor barefooted that I like, and also Lestor. But
I'll link the people up in the show notes.
yeah. Then because we were back down in Boone, we decided to go out skating, and Brandon Curry was with us that day too, and we were riding shoals and taking lines, and at the top of the hill on not necessarily the last run intended of the day, but our last run of the day, someone, I don't know if it's Brandon or Freddie, was like, you guys, you can't be blowing your line in that, like, in the turns, like, you're gonna get hurt. And that whole time I was sticking in my lane and I was fine. I was like, yeah, Freddie, stop blowing your lane, like, you're gonna die, man. And that run, I blew my lane and saw a front end of a car and had both my knees basically run over by the front and rear tire, which was pretty heavy.
Were you, and you didn't have shoes on?
Yeah, I was barefooted. Yeah, I was not wearing any shoes at the time.
Did you have slide gloves on?
Yeah, I had side gloves, and I don't think I was even wearing a shirt at the time, because that was also
my
part of the life. It was no shoes, no shirts, no fucks given was the mentality at that point.
What was the kind of end result of that experience with the vehicle?
My knees were pretty jacked up. I didn't break anything, but the ligament damage is pretty wild. My knee kind of swings now, and doesn't stay well. It's gotten stronger. I've done a lot of things to try and rebuild the strength in my body after the incident. But the car kept driving. They didn't stop, and my board went off the road, and Will Seal comes down the hill. He didn't see it happen, but he sees me in the road, and my 4 kids are in the back of the van, like as Will's driving down follow car. So my kids are there, and I hop in. Will's like, Sean, get in the car. Like, we've got to, like, go. And I don't remember who ended. I think Brandon or Freddie went and found my board. And I looked at my kids. I'm like, Dad just got hit by a car. I gotta go to the hospital just to make sure everything's all right. And so Will took me to the hospital, and then I got my legs x-rayed, and we made sure nothing was broken. And then I ended up getting a knee brace and sitting in a wheelchair for a little bit just because walking was really painful. And while I was in the hospital, though, Freddie, Brandon, and Will, and I think Brandon's girlfriend at the time, hung out with my kids and play with my kids at the skate house that they had there in Boone, which is, super wholesome. I'm like super grateful to have such an amazing downhill skateboard community that's always been there and kind of showed up over the years for the decisions I've made. It's been nice to have those people, and my kids have really fond memories of all the people that they've spent the years at skate events with. It's pretty wild. It's cool.
Man, what a wild story. I'm glad you're good.
Yeah, me too.
And wow, I didn't realize the pirate children were down there too.
Yeah,
they've seen some things.
Yeah, no, they've been through some stuff, and I'm very sorry for putting through some of those things. It's changed them, but it's also made them the amazing people that they are. My kids are awesome. I'm stoked to have them.
Oh yeah, your kids are super rad. I always like seeing them at the events, saying what's up.
Yeah, running around barefooted, riding the U-Haul, like just having walkie-talkies. They love it. It's great.
Speaking of U-Hauls, Anthony wanted to ask you. He had a late guest question.
Okay.
He wanted to ask you about the time the pirate children may have ruined the U-Haul rides at Mount Jefferson or something.
Right, for outside of the event people. Yeah, like they were just like chilling on the back, probably riding up, and just the Rangers were not having it because my kid's like, this is what we do. Like, we go up the U-Haul at Soldiers. This is nothing.
Yeah.
Like, if you ride up the U-Haul at Soldiers, that's probably scarier, honestly, than going down the hill, right?
Oh yeah, like the U-Haul up.
Yeah.
Shit, depending on who's driving too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, when the back gate is trying to close on the people also, and like you're going over the rollers. It's
coming down like a guillotine.
I feel like that's why I always try and stand on the outside. Like, I feel safer out there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I try and poach. If you get down the hill and like the start.
Yeah, you just put your helmet in the front seat. You're like, that's my seat.
Yeah, you just like get in the front seat.
Right. We shouldn't be giving away the secrets to getting good spots in the U-Haul, because I legitimately always have probably one of the better spots on the U-Haul, and I'm normally one of the last people down.
It's all strategy,
Yeah.
Yeah. We were talking about Shoals Mill before that.
Yeah, no, getting hit by a car. It's we might talk about a few others, but yeah, it's been an experience.
Yeah. Should we go into another?
Yeah, might as well cut off, the second car on a skateboard. At this point, we can hit that one. That was
We might as well just touch on that too.
Yeah,
we're on the subject.
Yeah. So probably it was like a year and a half later. So the first car was in the summer, or the end of the summer was probably in August, and then just not the following March, but a March later, I went up to Pennsylvania with Scott Hurtelson Scott Hurtelson and Zach Hall, and we were bombing this really fun hill in Pennsylvania, but probably wasn't the time of year to be bombing it, being that there's soot and all the rocks from them trying to salt the road and make sure that it's safe to drive in the Pennsylvania winters.
Yeah, Debris.
Yeah, lots of debris in the roadway, and it's probably 55 mile an hour road, and I'm coming through a sweeping right-hand turn into a left, and as I'm coming through the turn, I'm going over the gravel and the inconsistent stuff on the road, and all of a sudden I just feel my board go this way. And at that time, there's no cars on the road, but there is one car. The only car on the road is parked right there on the corner of like the middle of the left, and my board's gone, and I'm literally like looking at it, flying towards it. And I've, fallen off my board plenty of times, and I've avoided lots of stuff over the years, guardrails and everything else. And you take those instincts and you're like, oh God, where do I go? Where do I go? And there's like nowhere to go. And so for myself, whenever you hit anything, I'm always trying to drive my body through that thing. There's no obstacle I can't go through, which in reality, there's probably a lot of them, but I'm Superman in my mind. And so I literally tried to tackle that car as hard as I could. I'm like, I'm going to fuck this car up. But the car definitely fucked me up more.
Oh my gosh.
And so I broke my sternum, 3 ribs, and had my right lung collapse. And I displaced my left wrist by 37 degrees. So my wrist is like literally hanging off and almost like the bone popping out. And I don't know if I was out or unconscious anymore, but I was there pretty quick. And so I'm laying in the road, and I'm kind of trying to get up, but I can't like really lift myself up. I don't have the strength to do it. And Scott, who was following me and filming also at the time, he had pulled over and was running toward me. He came to me, and he's like, Sean, just like lay down, don't move, like stay. Like, and I'm like, why, dude? I'm like, I'll be fine. Like, I'm okay. Like, we'll go to the hospital if I need to. He's like, no, Sean, like, just like, we're calling an ambulance, stay. And I like lift up my arm, and I look at my arm hanging, and I'm like, oh, look at that. Okay. Yeah, I'll stay. So like, pain is my friend. I'm not like afraid of getting hurt. And so I laughed it off. It's what it is. So I literally laid there for almost an hour, I think, before the ambulance came, and before the ambulance had to drive me to a place where a helicopter could pick me up, and I got life flighted to Hershey Medical in Pennsylvania, and then ended up spending a week in the ICU. And so because my lung was collapsed, the helicopter ride was interesting. They're like, we got to monitor you and do all this stuff. And the moment I landed and I get into the hospital, they take me into the room, and they cut my shirt, my stuff off, and they roll me on my side, and they cut a hole in the side of my chest and jam a tube down into my lungs. And that to help reinflate and also drain the blood that's, whatever's happening.
Oh my gosh, Sean.
Yeah. So it was pretty gnarly when it happened, and being that Scott was awesome, came through and brought me my board the next day. But I had a couple people come visit me in the hospital, Ed and my buddy Colin and Dan and Cameron. So it was definitely an experience. Like, it wasn't like I was not anticipating hitting a car. Like, I was.
Yeah, you definitely didn't see that happening. There's footage of this too, correct?
Yeah, there is footage of it. I'm actually gonna share. I'll share it probably this week for you or something. That way it's out there.
I'll reluctantly put it in the show notes.
Yeah. No,
No, I'll put it in there.
If
I'll
you
put
want
in
to
there.
see it, it's not the gnarliest thing to see. Honestly, I watch it occasionally just as a reminder because it's dangerous what we do. But at the same time, it's one of the most enjoyable things out there that I wouldn't change. I wouldn't not do it. Like that's why I'm still doing it.
Still doing it.
Yeah.
Sean came down here. We had an outlaw yesterday. Sean was ripping. It was rainy. It was patchy. This dude was hitting it all day, every run.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna not hop on my skateboard. I'll take every run until I can't. Honestly, I wouldn't not ride my skateboard. And when there's a road and a U-Haul, yeah, count me in, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm in.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I have that picture. There's like a picture of you with the tube.
Yeah, it's pretty gnarly.
It's
That
like burned into my brain.
Yeah. So the wild thing is when they pull that tube out, they don't stitch up the hole or anything. They just put a Band-Aid over it, and they're like, leave that on there for a few days and don't take it. And you let it like heal up. It's so wild.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And I still have a steel plate in my wrist.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I got some hardware still.
Do you have to get that taken out ever? Or
I don't know. It's just still there. My wrist is not the same, but it still works enough for me to do the things I like.
Right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Man, that's pretty wild.
I would agree.
You know what?
Yeah. What's up?
Let's do I got another segment.
All right. Let's do it.
It's called Pick a Card.
Ooh, I'll pick any card. Hopefully not a bad card.
I'm gonna kind of shuffle these up here.
You a magician now, Dan?
Part-time, aspiring.
Yeah. You're gonna need to work on your shuffling if you want to be a
I
magician.
know. I'm half-ass shuffling these. I don't even.
Yeah.
We'll see. All right. Pick a card, Sean.
All right.
All
Oh
right, he
yeah,
pulled
that's what
up-
I'm talking about.
He pulled up an ace. What do I got for ace?
Ace of Spades.
For ace, would you rather get road rash on both your butt cheeks or an STD?
Road rash on both my butt cheeks because I've had plenty of that, and it's fine. Just put a little Tegaderm on it, let it soak in, and fucking dude, you can still skate.
Hey, I just
I actually have some currently from Grapevine because I got hucked and Kenny threw me off the road.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Pick another one.
All right. 10 of hearts.
10. Can you wheelie?
On a motorcycle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You 12 o'clock boy?
Not like consistent where I can coast it, but one of these days I'll get there. But I can pop them and roll them and ride them out. Like it's once you get it, dropping the clutch and just gassing it, it's fun. I've looped my bike or my dirt bike pretty bad once, and I was not wearing shoes at the time, and I was wearing shorts. Yeah.
Seems like a reoccurring
Yeah, no,
thing.
I'm a full on scent kind of person, and I don't really wear shoes for a lot of the activities.
Shoes are optional.
Definitely always optional at Sean's house.
Oh my gosh. Are you a spiritual guy?
I would say I'm a spiritual person as far as for like the things that you feel, but I'm not like, I don't necessarily believe in God, but I think that we all have a being that is this energy that, we all interact. It's pretty wild how we get drawn to each other. We bounce. Life is a unique experience, and I'm enjoying traveling through it.
Same. I mean, you showed up here. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, no,
That's pretty cool.
On a weekend I don't have my kids and I've got the opportunity, I'm gonna go somewhere and have an enjoyable time with some people that I enjoy. And it's been a minute since I've been to North Carolina. I try and come each year, and the events are normally what draw me because I know most of my homies will be around, and it's a great way to just spend the weekend.
Yeah, man. We're glad to have you down here. It was so cool seeing you skating yesterday, and Anthony.
Yeah.
too. I was like, oh yeah, this is rad.
I love getting to skate with Anthony. Like, we've been doing it for so many years. It's all like, it's fun to see the people who are still around. Because a lot of the people that we skated with back in the day, they maybe skate or putt around sometimes, but they don't do what Anthony and I still do. And I think, Anthony and I are few and far between the number of people who are still around doing it for as long as Anthony and I have been doing it.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah, it's always cool to see who's going to show up. So glad y'all showed up.
Yeah, definitely.
You want to talk about some, I guess, some East Coast companies that you used to ride for or ride. What's up with Clutch Skateboards?
That's an interesting story. We might not talk too much about Clutch Skateboards because I no longer ride for Clutch Skateboards. I was kicked off the team because Alex, I guess, doesn't like me anymore. But, it happens. But Clutch Skateboards was my first downhill sponsor. Only reason I got on there was because I was better than Alex and I beat him at all the races and he was getting upset.
Shots fired.
Yeah, and I could still beat him down a hill today. I don't think he could. But it's okay.
Go.
But Clutch Skateboards, they were a small East Coast company, custom builder, and Russ was making stuff out of his shop and they had a lot of the boards and styles that I like. So it was one of the companies that I honestly wanted to ride for. If I was going to ride for any board companies when I was doing it, I wanted to ride for Quebec or I wanted to ride for Clutch. Those were the two companies. Didn't want to ride for Lanyards, but they're a cool company. But Quebec was for me that's what I really wanted.
No kidding. Oh yeah, Quebec was pretty rad.
Yeah, no, definitely. But I have that was also my first downhill board was a Quebec board. So I couldn't complain.
What Quebec?
I had a Quebec John Cafton, so it was like an Evo, but didn't have the D wedge in the back. So I'd run a Randall 35. So that put you at, I think, 55 or 52 in the front and 35 in the back. So I was always running split degrees because for me, back then we didn't go switch. It was straight and fast.
Yeah.
So.
No kidding.
Yeah.
What about Fat Deans?
Fat Deans was one of my first sponsors, and I was the first rider to ride for him. He's a really awesome guy who lived in Pennsylvania, rode vert back in the day, and as he got older, found downhill skateboarding and was kind of wanting to stoke out the community and help out. And so he created a small wheel company and was distributing the wheels himself and making them cheap and affordable because there's how expensive wheels are. Yeah. So he was giving the good people of the East Coast mids of the day, and we had a blast. I got to go to races because of Dean. He helped flow me wheels and money and just made skateboarding for me at the time really possible because financially I couldn't probably go to Colorado as frequently, so helping me get out there, it was and then also throwing the parties and having people at his house. We could always go to Dean's house and know that Dean would shuttle us up hills all weekend. He didn't have to ride, but we'd pile in his truck and just fly down the hills and Dean pick us up and keep going. He helped make the scene happen.
Shout out Dean.
Yeah, Fat Deans is the man. So he was the best.
Weren't you riding some Fat Deans yesterday?
I was riding some old Spectres. I still have a few fresh sets, and I love my Rain Spectres. Joe made them and actually gave them to me at a Soldiers because I didn't have rain wheels and it was all wet and made my day. And dude, riding rain wheels makes all the difference.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It was cool seeing you on the Fat Deans.
Yeah. But I'm riding the small board with the tiny truck, which is wild. I never thought I'd be doing that because, dude, we were riding 200 millimeter trucks back in the day, and yeah, it's wild how it's come around.
What's your setup now? Current setup?
I'm riding a meat bike with some Rogues or Don't Trips, and then whatever wheels I got. Mostly Magnums because for some reason I'm a square lip boy, but I should probably at this age get to some more round lip life because I feel like it's
I don't know, man. The mags are so good.
No, I know, but yesterday there were points where I'm I have too much stopping. I need a little more slide.
Yeah. No, I feel you. Yeah. I rode Kegels for some reason yesterday.
Yeah, they looked pretty fresh.
They were
you were flying
right.
too, man. It was fun.
They were working pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk DC?
DC?
Yeah.
DC is, kind of something that's, downhill in DC. I don't have a whole lot of affiliation with it because I'll ride a pool here and there and I go do that. But most of my downhill skateboarding was in like Pennsylvania, so I like the majority of my time was up in like the Keystone State. But I still I grew up in Maryland outside of DC, so it's kind of a familiar place. But I didn't start downhill skateboarding until I actually like was in PA.
No kidding. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I'm fans of all the DC people, and it's a great scene down there.
I wasn't sure if you were, kind of affiliated with that, or I mean, you kind of associate with a lot of those people.
No, I do. I have a lot of affiliation with a lot of things. Like, even though I'm not from Canada, I'm like, somewhat of an East Coast Ontarian,
Yeah.
But I have a lot of great friends in Canada that have come down over the years to parties and come race, and it's always, yeah. So I claim a lot of places at home. Like, technically I'm from North Carolina too, and Ohio, but I'm not like really. So
Honorary Ohio.
yeah, I'm an honorary Ohioan. So see you in Ohio, everybody, this year. The one time, I'll go to Ohio once a year. That's it.
Yeah. That one year.
Just for soldiers. That's
it,
it,
man.
Yeah.
Up in Pennsylvania, were you going out and skating Likens?
Yeah, Likens was. We have some wonderful memories from Likens. It's probably one of the best places to session. Like, there's one sliding turn, but it's like just a fun winding bomb, and you can get all your homies and go like 10, 12 deep and just be drafting and passing. And the drafting and bumping is the best.
It's I got to skate it one time ever. It's cool.
Yeah. We had an outlaw there once. Anthony beat me in the finals.
Really?
Yeah, Anthony got first. I got second. And it was a good time.
What race was that?
It was the Likens Outlaw. Dean threw an outlaw. Anthony, I think, walked away with some cash like from it that Dean just threw down for it. Like, it was like Dean really helped like make things happen and just shuttled us. And we were talking about it actually yesterday, because at that event Jeremy Ross broke his arm, which it was so gnarly. Like, his arm was like hanging. He off the right hand turn at the bottom, the sliding one.
That's the side you were racing?
Yeah, that's the side. Dude, the bomb, and it was great because we had somebody at the corner, so we were coming down. Like, we would do 4-man heats, and that turn with 4 people, like, it would get dicey because you're coming in there hot.
Yeah.
But so Jeremy ended up like sliding off the road, not when we were racing, but during like practicing, because he was just trying to send it too hard, I guess, and it wasn't there. And ended up hitting a tree and like literally just like dislocating his arm or elbow and broke it. And we're an hour from a hospital, and his girlfriend at the time drove him to the hospital. And we were like, I hope you do well. And the rest of us stayed and skated, which probably wasn't the nicest thing to do at the time. But yeah, we were out there skating. So
I mean, yeah, well, you can't all go to the hospital.
yeah, and Peter broke his back there, I think, on the other side, hitting the, yeah, it's been some.
That was the same
road.
same.
Oh, not the same event, different, different.
Okay.
Yeah, because we would have sessions there so often. Like, it was like at least once a month. Like, people would always be coming through, and since I wasn't too far, I loved going to Likens. There's a couple other good roads around there too, so you kind of like hit a couple on the way out and then hit them on the way back.
What else is kind of out that you'd be hitting in that area?
Miller's Gap, which is like 60, almost probably 70 miles an hour. I know that like Scott and myself and a couple of people gotten like mid 60s on it, and it's like a roller coaster of a hill, and it comes into a really fun like sliding right and then a diving left, and it's probably one of the prime roads, but it got chip sealed. Like, they be messing up our roads up there in Pennsylvania. You guys got to do better.
Yeah, DOT needs to get talked to.
But I think it's been a couple years at this point that they might be skatable again. It's just, they're either hit and miss with the roads sometimes. But that's part of the fun, is like going to find the roads and skating them. That's like, back in the day, we didn't have the same kind of like MapQuest or Google search. We were literally just like driving around.
Yeah.
And Dean, being that he like lived where he did, he was always like driving around and finding hills. And whenever I'd come up, he'd be like, Sean, you gotta try this one. And I'm like, okay. I like first dropped a bunch of like hills in Pennsylvania that Dean would find.
Nice.
Yeah.
You got eyes on the streets.
Yeah, no, it was great. Like, he was always looking for stuff. He's like, Sean, this one's good. You gotta try it.
What road was TMMR? Was that Pennsylvania?
Yeah, so that one was up in near State College and was about like 45 minutes from where I was living at the time. But Jamie Reese was going to Penn State at the time, and he had come to my event and was like, I want to do one of these too. And so he threw a 2-day event, and there were actually 2 roads that he did the race on. So the first day he did it on what is actually like TMMR, which is this like really slow hill, but it's windy. So it looks cool on a map, but to ride it was like, but for people who don't go fast, it was cool. Like, but then he had found this other road that really nice drop at the at the stops at the top, so you didn't have to push really, but we wanted to because you want to go as fast as you can at that point,
course,
right?
Yeah.
And so you go into a left and then a right and then a left, and yeah, it was such a fun race to race because just the technicality of it, and the drafting at the finish line was just like a straight bomb, and you're going close to mid 50s probably. So it was a great road.
It looked cool. It's got some sick sweepers action going on it.
I have some really fun passing memories on that road. Like it's yeah.
That's awesome.
I won it one year. So
you did?
Yeah.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah, I won TMMR too. So,
let's go.
Yeah, let's go. With Anthony Fliss in the finals, and Mike Rubin and Alex, I think, was in it too. Alex got last. So yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Sean. I was kind of getting into talking about motorcycles earlier with you.
Yep.
You've had some experiences, some things that have happened over the years. Would you like to elaborate on kind of some of your maybe fondest memories on a motorcycle?
Well, I always like riding my bike, and I've ridden my bike to the Knob and to a couple other places where I enjoy skating. It's always fun to put my board on the back and be able to go and ride. One trip I came down North Carolina on my bike, and it's actually probably a week after I bought this bike, and it was a 1200 bike, so it had a little bit of go to it, and I was very much enjoying the go to it and not really wanting to stop for nobody and nothing. And I was coming back from the weekend in North Carolina, going north on 81 and coming through a little small town, and see a cop and probably going 100. Well, his ticket that he gave me said I was going 110 miles an hour. And when I saw him put on his lights, no stops. So I full throttle it, and I'm flying down the highway. And as I'm going down the highway, I see another cop with his lights up ahead. And that probably should have kept going straight, but I was like, oh, God, I'm just going to keep running into cops. So I brake real quick. There's a UE, like a median brake, so I take a brake in the UE. I take a UE in the median, and then I start going south again on 81, and I'm blasting, trying to get away from the cop because I figure he can't turn around and get me there. So as I'm going south on 81, I pass 2 other cops sitting in a median, and those guys pop out and start chasing me. And I'm flying down the highway, dodging cars because it's the middle of the day on a Sunday. Holiday weekend, or actually maybe it was a Monday, or probably a Sunday, and I dodging cars. I looked down at my bike at one point. I'm going close to 170 miles an hour, and this cop is still on my ass, like he's keeping up. And I was like, God, jeez. So I see an exit, and I pop off, and I'm riding down the median, and he's riding down, or not the median, the shoulder. He's riding down the shoulder with me because there are cars in the exit, and I can't, I'm not, gotta go. Gotta go. And then I get to where the stop sign is, and there's traffic going both ways, and I pull straight out, and I go down the double yellow with cars going this way, and I'm just...
You're in the middle?
I'm straight in the middle in the double yellow with traffic just blasting straight through, and I'm like, yeah, this is where we're at. And so I make it through there, and the cop can't follow me, and I'm driving, and I see a turn. I'm like, I've got to dip. I've got to find a way out of here. And so I make a left, and I'm going back up in the mountains, and I'm driving around. I'm like, I got to find a place to stop. And all of a sudden, I'm like in backwoods, kind of like a place like the Knob, where the road's really windy. It's not necessarily well paved, and there's gravel, and and I'm just cruising along, still going at a decent speed, but I've gotten far enough away at this point where I'm comfortable. I'm like, yeah, I can breathe, I can slow down. And so I'm just cruising along trying to find a place to where I can just kind of hide for a while. And about 10 miles from where the cop had last seen me, he somehow found his way to where I was. And I'm going slow at this point. I'm like, maybe he doesn't know who I am. And he turns his lights on, and I stop. I pull over, and the cop gets halfway out the car, and I make the decision that I'm gonna keep going. So I drop it into gear and I go. And cop struggles to get his back in gear, and he gets going again. He's following me. We're going along this windy road with gravel and everything. I'm like, God, I'm gonna die. But I for some reason no stopping still. And we're winding along, and eventually we get to a point where the cop gets to the outside of me, and I made a bad line choice. I let him get on my outside, let him pass me. I'm like, shit.
You left the door open?
I left the door open, amateur maneuver. And so he comes and he gradually just edges me off the road and pushes me down into a ditch, and my bike stops because I hit dirt and everything. I fall off my bike, fall down a relatively steep hill, down, roll, and pull off my helmet, put up my hands in there. I'm like, all right, you win. And so they put me in the back of the cop car. There were like 5 or 6 police cars that like had shown up, because I had 5 stars in Grand Theft Auto, is the way I felt.
Oh my gosh. Was there a helicopter?
I don't know that there was a helicopter. So you're right. I probably had 3 stars, or maybe 2.
Well, there might have been, but if you're going that fast, I don't know if a copter's going to keep up.
Right, yeah, and I was going through the woods. And so they took me to the jail and booked me for, I think, like 3 or 4 felonies and 2 misdemeanors. For like felony eluding and not stopping and all sorts of stuff. And so I spent almost 24 hours in jail waiting for my brother, who was living in South Carolina at the time, to come up and bail me out. And then my bike was still it was impounded. So and it was early in the morning. I had work the next day. So my brother drove me down to like South Carolina, where he was the airport there. I took a flight back to DC, got an Uber, and I was an hour late to like work, but I still like got myself to work. And
you rode that bike?
No, I didn't ride the bike home because the bike was impounded. They didn't it was not in my possession. And so, yeah, I made it home with an Uber and everything else and went to work. And then the next weekend or a week later, I got a rental car, drove down and got my bike and rode it back home and had it back. But it was pretty wild. I ended up getting sentenced to 2.5 years in jail and had to spend 3 months in a Southwest Virginia jail, which was an interesting experience.
Did you make any friends?
Yeah, actually. Yeah, no, I played a lot of chess, read a lot of books. I got really good at chess, got my ass kicked so many times, but that's really the only way that you're going to get better is get your ass handed to you and learn how to not do it so much.
Damn, wild story.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. You should have told the people, like, hey, y'all hang out in Bainbridge?
The people, you'll meet some interesting people in jail if you're there long enough, so yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's super wild. What bike were you on?
It was a Kawasaki ZRX 1200, and not long, but probably 2 years later, I ended up blowing up the engine on it. So it's sitting in my garage, not my garage, in my basement, waiting to put a new engine on it. But it's like
Are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah. No, I actually kind of want to turn it into a drag like strip bike one day if I can, just so that way.
Oh, that'd be righteous.
Yeah, so I can go maybe 200 miles an hour, and I don't know, that'd be cool. But I have 2 of them, so it's a bike I love so much that I bought a second one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, it's a real fun bike to ride around.
Wow, drag bike, Sean.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Right,
dude.
yeah, go just blasting
man.
off. Yeah, that'd be fun. We'll see. One day, maybe.
You're like, shit, I've gone almost as fast on the streets, so.
Yeah, no, I've gone real fast in the streets, but it's not the place to do it. So I'm trying to find the tracks and the place to go play it safe a little bit more. but we make decisions sometimes, and we're here, so hooray.
Hooray. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, no problem.
Pretty wild. I remember you telling me, I think I came to Soldiers or something, and,
Yeah.
and you were just kind of like casually like, yeah, I was, doing some time.
Yeah, well, no, yeah.
something.
So I didn't miss Soldiers. It was wild because it was in September that I got arrested and like spent the night in jail. And then I was like with the court hearings and everything else, Soldiers in October. So I was able to go to Soldiers in October, but I ended up like my sentencing was in the beginning of November. So I spent from like November to February in jail, which is, the time when you're not skating.
It's a good time.
Yeah, good time to be. But I miss, some opportunities with my kids and things like that, which, sucks. But lessons learned, and you got to fuck around to find out, right?
Sometimes you find out.
Yeah, definitely found out a couple times.
Jeez. Let's talk about the Pirate Children.
Yeah, they're my best friends. They're my favorite little people in the world, and I love them very much. I have 4 amazing kids, and I had my first kid when I was 21, which is really early. But it's made it so now when I'm older, I'm gonna still be able to have a lot of fun at this point.
Yeah. No, you are on that end of it now at this point.
Yeah, and on top of that, my kids, if depending on what adventures they want to do, I'll still be able to go follow along and probably be able to keep up or push them to the point where like, Dad, just give us a break.
Yeah.
But my oldest is going to be 19 this year. My second oldest, she's 17, and then my sons are 15 and 14, and they're all really close. You've seen them probably just chilling at events, running around, and barefoot a lot of the time. They've lived a really, I think, interesting life, and I'm really grateful to have them.
I agree. Very, very awesome upbringing. They're about to be pirate adults.
Yeah, no, I can't really call them pirate children anymore. It's like it's hard to like post something like, "Hey, look at the pirate like mini adults." Like, what's going on?
Just pirate now.
Yeah, they're part of the crew. Like they're dope.
Any of them taking inkling to skating downhill or pursuing that, or not really?
I doubt it. I think they've been traumatized by the injuries, and they're like, it's fun to watch, but you're stupid, Dad. So just try and come home safe is really what they tell me most of the time.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Hey, but it's always there.
Yeah, no.
It's always there.
It is always there. It'd be real cool if one of them wanted to like start luging or downhill skateboarding, but I get to go snowboarding with my sons, and that's pretty fun.
That's super rad. You've been going out to Colorado quite a bit, looks like.
Yeah. No, I've spent a lot of time out this winter, which is awesome. With Will Seal, who's been a great friend over the years, so it's nice to have a board out there and just be able to catch a cheap flight and spend a weekend and hit the snow. Like, we don't really get much of that over here, so.
No, it's ice coast.
Yeah, but it's like downhill skateboarding for me, because it's like, oh, go fast, throw a stand up slide, which I can't do very well on a skateboard, so it like makes me feel like I'm a fast skateboarder.
You're like you're a beast.
Yeah, I'm like,
you're like
I'm
stand up toe.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Yeah.
Switch.
Yep. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, you've been certainly getting after it.
Yeah.
You got at Soldiers you had a bus. The big black bus. What's up with the bus?
So COVID time, actually pre-COVID, I've been looking for like a mobile home kind of vehicle for myself for a while, and I have 4 kids, so it's kind of hard to bring all of them to one place in a tiny vehicle. So I found a bus on Facebook Marketplace that's a beast of a vehicle that I can haul my toys in and all my.
Such a unit.
Yeah, no, it's a unit. So I haven't taken too many trips on it, but we've been to Ohio. My goal is here just to kind of, when my kids are a little bit older, use it to camp out at the mountain, drive out to Colorado or wherever I want to go snowboarding and just sleep in it and shred and just enjoy, or also going to all the events.
It's really rad. It almost looks like some Mad Max shit or something.
Yeah, it does. Being that it's all blacked out, it's a little scary. But I've been talking to Brandon and my kids about it. And I think eventually here we're gonna paint it up and make it kind of arty, and it'll be interesting to see what it turns into. I'm
excited to see it. Yeah, you got it's really nice on the inside, from what I remember.
Yeah, no, it's done up. The guy did a good job. It was a good find. You got to be patient. Like, I've literally been spending years just kind of looking through things and like waiting for the thing that came up really like kind of caught my eye.
Super rad. Looking forward to having you pull up on the bus.
Yeah. Blow the
Hopefully,
air horn.
Woodburger? No?
Yeah, no, I'll
Yeah,
be,
yeah.
but it's not gonna be at Woodburger, no, because
Oh.
I don't have my kids that weekend, so I'm probably gonna
Okay.
ride the bike. And dude, Woodburger's far, well, not far, but it'll be easier to bring a bike and just bring a little like tent and camp out. So
Okay. Soldiers it is then.
yeah, so it like really it's the soldier's vehicle for me. That way I have a nice, a warmer place to camp out because we've had some pretty bitter cold years there.
Oh, it's gotten rough there.
Yeah, but that's all right.
Are you still running? On
Yeah.
your running grind?
Yeah, running is like, so I ran, well, I think everybody ran before they rode a skateboard. But running was like a childhood and, early life kind of thing. I didn't really start skateboarding until I was in my 20. But with running, it was something that I did throughout my life and did competitively. And so now as an adult, I still want to like maintain being in shape to be able to go skate all day and go snowboard all day. So I just kind of take myself out there and run. But I set little goals for myself. I'm not really interested in trying to be the fastest runner anymore. But I want to be faster than myself. So this past year, I ran a marathon around my farm, which was brutal because it's not like a normal road marathon. It's like it's a cross country uphill over trees and through streams and kind of run. So I did it at just a little over 5 hours, I think it was.
Oh my gosh.
So I was moving for a while, and I have some goals to run some like far distances and just to keep running. And then I've got a few goals on trying to run a sub 5 minute mile again. Back in high school, I ran a 4:35, so I was not the fastest, but I could move.
Fast boy.
Yeah. So back in the day with like downhill skateboarding, I had a really good kick. Like that was one of the ways that I could win races. Now at this point, man, like yesterday, I was like, I can push off well, and I'm like, no, I can't do even a one push well. Like I'm like in the back already. I'm like, shit.
Yeah, man.
The push is, I don't have a push anymore, man. I can't. I don't know. I maybe I got to train more for that because I'm like I can run fast still, but I don't know how's your push, Dan?
My push sucks.
Yeah.
Push sucks ass.
So I'm a big fan of us doing gravity starts for races, so that way I can actually like race people. Because at Soldiers, like honestly, like the only reason I can catch up to people is because I'll tuck probably harder and want to go faster in some of the places where people might air brake. But like I lose off the push like every time.
Yeah, you get gapped off the push.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, well,
Like,
hopefully.
how are you pushing so fast?
Yeah. So I like the gravity start, and I think the rolling ramps would be cool to bring those kind of things back.
I would. Yeah, they do that for like slalom. Don't
Yeah,
they?
they do that for slalom, so I think it'd be
I think
cool.
that would be cool.
Like we're here to race down hills. We're not here to like push. So I don't care. Like when it mattered to me, probably, and it would help me win. I'm like, yeah. But
if your push was really good, though, you'd be like, oh, we gotta push more.
no, I know, and that's why I feel like all the guys who are good, they've really like focused on their push right now, so they don't want to like take the push away. But when you take the push away, it makes the race so much more interesting. Like even like yesterday when it was the one push, like everybody's on top of each other. And I don't want to see a race where somebody like is pushed out like in the front and it's
Gaps
not even
10 yards.
Yeah, it's like, well,
can take any line.
it's like, yeah, where's the race? Yeah, it's great. Like you can push really well, but can you race really well? Like have people next to you. Let's see the action.
I'm on your side in this argument.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, downhill community, let's stop the pushing. We're here to go downhill on our skateboards. We want to ride downhill, not push downhill. If you want to push, go to a push race.
It's eloquent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Facts. You a fond memory I have of you is because you're a cyclist too.
Yeah. I do a lot of like my parents when I was a kid. Instead, like I didn't have a skateboard when I was a kid. Like I was literally thrown in every single sport and did every sport. And as an adult, I found like skateboarding when I was in college. I was like, oh man, riding board down like hill. Like I had no like visual reference for that ever until like I was 19, and then it's like that's really fun to just cruise.
Did you see it? Did you like see someone downhill, or how would you find out about it?
No. So like I had a friend in my college who was like from New Jersey who had like a Sector 9 pintail kind of like boardwalk kind of board, and like we had some little hills on our campus, and I was like just riding around and riding down. I was like, this is like really fun. So eventually I ended up getting myself a downhill board, and then I eventually found like the online forums and things like that. But like there wasn't videos and a lot of things to like visually like know that these things were there. It was hard to find. But when I found it, it was, yeah.
You just knew you're like, I'm gonna be doing this for a minute.
Yeah, this is awesome. This is what I love.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Were you you said you didn't really skateboard or anything. Were you snowboarding and stuff too at the time, or not?
No, so
not-
I learned to snowboard like 5 years ago. I think at this point it's been 5 seasons that I've been
Okay.
snowboarding. But like, Will had been snowboarding before in board sports. I'm not like I can probably do it. So Will took me out and was doing like blues and a black on my first day, eating shit. But I loved it, and now I literally want to. That's what I want to do in the winter. So it's winter snowboard. When it gets springtime, it's skateboard time and cycling and running time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
I've been hit on my bicycle as well.
Yeah. Well, okay. So this is a tally. What?
This is car. So actually, it's interesting that So this was car number 3. So the first 2 were on my skateboard. Car number 3. At the time, for myself, being like the physical person that I was, biking was a way that I would spend my time when my kids weren't around. And I love playing in traffic. That's probably my problem. So I would ride to downtown Frederick, where I live now. It's like 10 miles from my house. And I would normally like ride into downtown, do some laps around downtown, race some cars on Main Street, and try and do like the whole way without getting lights. It's like a mile straight. So you just like you come into this hill that comes down, and then it flattens out. And it's just a flat sprint, which I don't know if you've ever sprinted on your bike and whatnot, but it's fun.
If you have a downhill into a flat,
yeah,
you're got those RPMs.
You already got it already. So you're in that top gear and you're just pumping it as hard as you can, and you're just like you're keeping up with traffic because the traffic is 25 miles an hour, so they can't go that fast. So you're like you're like passing cars too. So that's like it was always a good time. But I was coming back on one of my loops, and I'm riding up a hill, and it's really dark, and not riding with a helmet, not riding with any lights on my bike. And I see this car with their left-hand turn signal on, and I'm like, oh, they can see me. They're going to stop. And I just keep riding, and this lady just turns left and T-bones me basically on my bike, and I flip up over, and nothing really bad happened. Like I had some rash, and my ankle was a little like beat up, and my bike actually wasn't too bad. My bike was fine. I ended up riding it back another mile because luckily enough on this day I had driven my car in and had my bike with me as opposed to riding in. So I was only like 15 miles into my ride when this woman hit me. They're like, we need to call an ambulance. We need to go to the hospital. I'm like, this is nothing. Like, I'm fine. Like, what are you guys even doing here? And I just rode my bike home or not home, but to my car and drove home. And that was just another day in the life of Sean.
Jeez, man.
Yeah.
So that's number 3.
Yeah, that was car number 3, and they were all like probably a year and a half like apart. Like it was first car in I think 2004, no, like 15, I think it was, and then next one was in 2016. It's just wild. It's just like literally, and then jail, all the things like I have a nice yearly kind of thing. I'm trying to not do that so much, but it just seems to keep hitting me somehow. But we'll be all right. We'll survive.
Yeah, man, you're doing good.
Yeah,
you're doing good now. You just had to get it out of your system.
Yeah. I've got what Anthony keeps saying. I've got 9 lives, so I still have a couple more left, I think. But I'm trying to save those for later in life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sean's a wild man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this would be a good time. I ask everyone these questions in the interview, so I want to get your perspective on a few of these.
Excellent.
So, Sean, round lip or square lip wheels?
We already kind of touched on it, but I'm a square lip kind of guy, and it's just been how I've always ridden, and I like the grip, and I can slide them, so they'll eventually get rounder. So, yeah, square for days.
Heard that. Open road or neighborhood?
That's a really hard one. Like at this point, like open roads are cool, but You gotta like there are things that I need for the open road to happen. Like Colin will bring out a walkie. We've got a car that goes in front. And there are things that happen for me to want to go and skate an open road because I'm not trying to live that life anymore. Because there have been some dicey lines over the years where like you're like, wow, we survived that. That's good that we didn't hit that thing.
Yeah.
But then there's been some times where obviously I've hit some things, so I've trying to reevaluate the life choices. But open roads are just too much fun because there's so many of them out there.
Yeah.
There's like, and the neighborhoods are generally not so great unless it's something like Paradise, like or Can. So if those are the neighborhood runs I'm running, then yeah, let's do that all day. Yeah.
Respect. If you had to pick an all-star lineup of people to go out skating with, who you picking and where are you going?
So since I have my bus, my lineup gets to be a little bit bigger. But we're gonna bring Anthony, of course, because I've got a lot of great memories with Anthony. We're gonna bring Matt Kay because Matt Kay is always a beast on the hill and just flying around, and I love watching him like somehow find this draft and just blow past you all the time. Chris Bono, because we've had a lot of memories over the years, and he's been someone I've done some traveling with. It's always a great time. Ed Garner, because just living in Maryland and being with Maryland, like that's kind of like my grom, but I'm not like, yeah. And then Dan Fonts, of course, because him and Ed just kind of come together. You can't have Dan without Ed. And we also have a lot of time on the hills together, which has been great. Let's see. Dan Oliver, of course. I have a lot of really good memories with Dan Oliver. And then I'd like to get Fat Dean on a hill, but I doubt that's going to happen. And I'd say that's, those are some of the people. There's a lot of people out there, honestly, that I want to session with.
That's a sick lineup. Yeah. That'd be a real cool trip.
No, I forgot. I got to include Will Seal and Freddie. Like, how can I not
there you
have
go.
Will and Freddie? So, yeah, always.
Well, where are you taking the bus?
We'll probably go to Lycans. We'll go to Mordor. We'll go to, we'll just do a good East Coast rip and just make our way from north to south. Like, we'll probably go up to New York and go all the way down to NC.
I like that.
Yeah, hit all the road. That'd be, yeah. Hey guys, 50-year birthday party. That's the 50-year birthday party tour. Anybody want to hop on the bus for the 50th birthday tour? That's a couple years. we'll go 50 at 50 on all of them.
Well, AGP 2030's, coming out in 7 years, so
nice.
You won't be 50 yet, but you might be able to collab.
Yeah, it'll be 2033, I think.
Yeah.
So we got some time.
What's the best road?
What's the best road?
What's the best road?
That's a hard one. There's a lot of really good roads, but Cannes is honestly one of my favorite. And I'm sad that I can't necessarily ride that one because it pushes you down the hill and the turns are just so good. Like, I like a hill that has instant speed. I don't want to have to I want to have to I want to slow down, but I also want to go fast. So I like that forced necessity to go fast, and Cannes just pushes you.
Yeah, I miss Cannes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that answer also. Best style.
Best style?
Yeah, who's got the best style?
Who's got the best style?
Yeah.
I really like watching Chase skate a lot. I really like watching Dex skate. And Jesse's been thrown down a lot lately, which is really fun to watch.
For sure.
The progression over the years and just seeing what people are now doing from what we were doing is just, it's awesome. I love it.
Everyone's good.
Dude, that's like, whose style do you like? There's so many people that have such good style and flow out there. Like just yesterday, people I didn't even know. I'm like, damn, you guys are good. It's awesome.
For sure. Yeah. The kids are sending it, man.
Yeah, they've got good examples out there.
Who's the GOAT?
Who's the GOAT? Like the greatest downhill skateboarder?
Yeah, in your eyes.
As far as racing, it's probably Kevin, but there's a lot of Dana's doing really good lately. There are people Delua is amazing.
Let's do a category. Let's do racing. And I guess just overall. I guess we could categorize.
Right. So racing, it's probably again Kevin because he just dominated for so many years. And then For like free riding, I don't know. It's hard to say. Like a Scott Mano is like throwing down. There are like a lot
For
of people.
sure.
There's so many people out there that just, again, I can't remember the guy's name, but it's in the guy in Colombia, I think it is.
Snyder. I
Yeah,
think?
yeah. Like it's crazy. Like the people that are just shredding anything and everything out there are like the greatest. And it's always, I don't think there could be just one because there's so many people that. That's what I love about skateboarding is really everybody has somewhat of their own style in a way. Like so people copy each other, like see things and try and like reproduce.
Yeah,
But
emulate that style.
yeah,
or
I mean, like
whatever,
that's
yeah.
but the people who like legitimately like introduce the style or have the style, their own unique style is just it's beautiful to see. Like seeing people express themselves on a skateboard is truly enjoyable.
Absolutely. Love the variety.
Yeah, yeah, like the two hand.
But you got to pick a goat though.
I gotta
You got to
pick-
pick one. So you said Kevin for racing.
Yeah. But you
Who's
want me
the
to?
free ride goat?
I'm gonna say Chase's. Like honestly, I
yeah.
Chase is my free ride goat right now, and I don't think I love watching Chase send it.
Agree.
And I'm sorry, Chase, that I made you lose soldiers because you deserve to win.
2 finish lines.
It was bullshit. I wasn't there to see it, and I'm sorry.
Who's got the best tuck?
Who's got the best tuck? Oof.
Yeah.
The fastest guy down the hill, right?
yeah. Shit.
And I think that there's a variety again of tucks because like watching like Misha Urban, like everybody has like kind of a different, like depending on what your body type is, what's going to be most aerodynamic for you is not going to necessarily be most aerodynamic for me. So finding the way to be as compact as you can is really, you know, what's going to make you fast. And not everybody's as flexible as each other. So
Who's your pick? Though?
my pick?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Dude,
I'm making you pick.
I've got to like look at
I'm making you pick.
who's got the best tuck. We're going to say Dex Manning has the best cut tuck because I love Dexter. So Dexter has the best tuck.
He's got a nice tuck.
It looks real good. I like your tuck, Dex.
Let's see. Tucking. Are you pucks out or pucks in behind your back? Which one's faster?
Ooh, I don't know which one's faster, but
I don't know
do.
either.
I do pucks in. So like I kind of I put my I kind of grab my fingers and just tuck them in.
Okay.
And I try and again like lock my arms in so I don't really have any holes or gaps. I think I have a pretty decent tuck, but yeah.
I've been trying to do that. I've been trying to mix up my hands. I've just gotten way less flexible.
Yeah, you gotta do some stretching.
I gotta
bud.
start stretching.
Yeah, it'll catch up on you. So get on
You
it.
know.
Yeah, I'm pretty flexible still. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've seen you stretch.
yeah. Well, I do my yoga and do my stretching. It's important.
Yeah, you're pretty good with like your health and wellness type
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. As you can see with my water. Yeah, no, I made choices like I would. Dude, with downhill skateboarding, it's all about the party. Like the best, I'll still stay up super late and hang out late, but I won't. Yeah, I won't get super trash. But part of the the event is to be like the one who wins the party and the race, and that's those people who used to do it back, and it doesn't happen as much as it used to. But it's probably better for our overall health.
Probably better, honestly.
So yeah, all the drinking is probably not the best. So I've reduced. I still drink occasionally, but I don't throw down like I used to. I probably couldn't throw down like I used to. I'd probably be on the floor pretty quick. So
Yeah, I start turning into a pumpkin at a certain time.
yeah, I'm
Unless I'm at Soldiers or something, then that's all.
this past year I was the last one to go to sleep. I was up until like 3 a.m. hanging out with Dean and Jacoop, and yeah, the campsite was quiet. I like to be one of the last ones to sleep, and then one of the first ones to rise and wake everybody up. I'll send it all day.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What's kind of on your agenda for this year? What's Sean got going on current era?
So this year I'm trying to hit what events I can. I'm gonna go to the Woodburger one. Gonna probably do GRC, and if the Asheville race that they're talking about happens, I'm stoked for that. Gonna be at Soldiers, and just running around, hanging out with my kids. My daughter's graduating high school, so that's something that I'm kind of focused on is her becoming an adult, but just having as much fun and getting around, and probably be down in North Carolina a few more times this.
Better be.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be. I'm looking forward to riding my skateboard a little bit more this summer. I didn't ride it as much last year, but I can. Yeah, I don't really need to stand on it much to still be able to ride it.
Yeah.
I got it. It's like
You got it down. You were hitting it yesterday. It's like, yeah, Sean still got it.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting. Like the day that I can't just like show up to a hill without being on my skateboard and go down it, like just when you feel too scared. And I don't know that I'm gonna get there, but I'm sure maybe there will be a point where I'm like, I don't know that I can do this.
I think it's gonna be a while for you though until that happens.
Yeah.
I think you'll be. I think you got quite a while in
Yeah,
you still.
I think I got a while. Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to keep doing this.
Yeah. So yeah, with the health and wellness is really important. That's like why I want to still be able to do what I do. And I think part of my ability to handle a lot of my injuries and the things that I've had is the fact that I have a pretty solid base from all the physical activities that I do. It makes my body strong enough to handle it and come back from the things when they go wrong. I feel like as an old man, I'm really banking on science at this point to be able to be the bionic man, because my hips and my knees and my ankles and wrists, they hurt, but
Get some upgrades down the road here.
yeah, get a few new parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. Has there been anything you've done in the past to come back from injuries that's helped? Like, holistically or anything like that? You've had success with?
No, like mainly it's just movement. Like after any injury that I have, I keep moving. I roll my ankles or hurt things, but I make sure that I stretch them. I give them time to rest a little bit, obviously. In the past, not so much, but now I'm making sure to kind of pay attention, and just being active and flexible is really, I think, the thing that's been most beneficial for me.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you're getting me stoked to stretch. I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, no, like we were hanging out at the party the other night, and I'm just like, I can't just like sit here and like I gotta like do a little stretching, guys. I'm sorry, like, and I stopped by Dan's place today, and like we're sitting, I'm gonna go stretch. Like it's part of my like daily routine and things that I do pretty regularly. I can't not stretch.
That's awesome. You got a good routine like that.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah, practice more, Dan. You'll get there.
Yeah. I just got to start.
My
I haven't once
Yeah.
stretched.
My favorite trick is headstands. So I like sitting on my head a lot. So whenever like we would go to events or other things, I'll always challenge people to a headstand. So if anybody out there thinks they can beat me in a headstand, you just let me know at an event one time, and I'll see how long you can stay up.
You hear that, folks?
Yeah.
Sean's coming for you.
Yeah.
If you can headstand, if you can headstand,
just give me a call.
yeah, give him a call.
Yeah, we'll hang out. Actually, there are probably some people out there who beat me, but I'm all like hasn't happened yet. Lauren, at Munnsville, I challenged her and we were sitting on our heads for a little bit, but I beat her then. So
She's got a pretty good headstand.
no, she does.
I don't know if she's been practicing, but
yeah,
you know.
But so I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah. Well, Sean, you think we're getting about there.
Sure. You want to
Do you have
talk
any...
about car number 4?
Yeah. We are kind of missing one, aren't we?
Yeah, we got 4 of them total. So
Is it 4? I thought it was 3.
Yeah, no, it's 4. Yeah, so bicycle was.
Oh my gosh! Hold the phone, folks.
Yeah.
Let's talk about number 4 here.
Yeah. So number 4 was on my motorcycle. So I've been hit on my skate. Well, not hit. I've been run over. I've hit a car, and I've been hit by a car, and then I've been hit by a car on my motorcycle. And I was going about like 55 miles an hour, and I had my partner at the time on the back of my bike, and this car merges onto the highway, and it just like there's a left-hand turn lane on the other side, and it just goes all the way across. It didn't they didn't see me, and so they sideswiped me, and I flew off my bike. I don't know necessarily how far I flew, but I was like unconscious for probably 10 minutes, and then broke some ribs again, sprained my wrist, shoulders, and things, and had another collapsed lung. But nothing necessarily too terrible. I spent an evening or two in the hospital, and then back home and back on my bike and doing life.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So you kind of have like a combination of like different ways to get in an altercation with the vehicle.
Yeah, I found many ways that you can apparently all like all in like open like spaces, none like in a car. Like I think I've been
Not in a car.
Yeah, no, I think I've been in like one legitimate like car accident where I was in a car and a car hit me. And that like yeah, that was everything's been where like it's just my body out there in the open, like just for the whole world to see.
I really thought it was only 3.
Yeah.
When did the motorcycle accident, was this kind of more?
Yeah, it's probably 2019 says, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, more recent.
Jeez, man.
It's been a wild ride.
You might have some sort of like world record type deal, like a specific one. No?
Yeah, I don't think. Well, maybe I don't know if there's anybody who's been hit by more cars than me. I guess put it in the comments.
Please stand up.
Yeah, please stand up. We respect you for your send. Like, yeah, I'm not one to back down from the send. Still, I'm out there.
You are out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem.
Just stirring up some trauma for you.
Yeah, no, well, it's been interesting trying to like live through all those traumas because it's interesting like when you get hit or you have those things happen, it changes like your perception of like your invincibility. Like there was a point when we started downhill skateboarding. Like I've got this on lock. Like I'm not gonna like it doesn't matter if there's a car there. I've got my shit under control. But there are a lot of things that are somewhat out of our control, obviously, and so when the first car, the mentality to get back to start doing the things again. Like I had like some form of like fear, like my heart, my body, like things did not react the same way. I had to like mentally push through wanting to still do the things. I would like literally have panic attacks riding my bicycle where like a car would go past me and my whole body would just like lock up and I couldn't breathe. But it's again like just the repetition and trying to still enjoy the thing that I love despite the things that have really impacted me is really what I'm happy about. I'm happy that I can still go out and skate, ride my bike and motorcycle ride, even though there's been things that have truly impacted me. But at the end of the day, life wouldn't be worth living if we weren't living it.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, I'm happy that you did come back to it, It's tough though. Yeah, I haven't been injured like that, not even close, but I've had spills where you kind of start rethinking everything.
Yeah, like those are just the bad ones. Well, not the bad. Those are like the worst ones. There have been spills and skin loss and all sorts of stuff over the years, but those are all just the price that you want to pay. To like, no pain, no gain, right?
Yeah, price you pay.
Yeah.
No doubt, Sean. Well, that was a nice piece of wisdom there. I really like that. Yeah, do you have any kind of closing comments or any shout outs or thank yous you think you have for anyone?
I won't shout out because if I do that, it might be a while, or it might just I'm gonna forget somebody. I'll feel bad. But just I'm really happy where the downhill community is. It's really nice to see like the growth, and it's awesome to see the community growing here in North Carolina. I think that it's without the people continuing to throw events or make things happen, our community falls apart. And over the years, I've seen it go up and down and up and down, and it's nice to see it kind of on a rise again. And it'll probably fall again, but I'll still be here skating and that. So it's nice that the equipment's getting better. And yeah, just if you're out there and you haven't been on your skateboard in a while, you should probably go for a roll because you're missing out. It's one of the best things in the world.
Truly. Well, thank you, Sean. It's really been a pleasure having you on this interview today.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. It's really been fun talking to you, kind of going through memories of some things that it's been a while since I've really thought about or enjoyed. But yeah, I've loved living life, and I'm going to continue living it up.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Sean, and thanks
Oh,
people listening too.
One last thing, Dan. So
Yeah.
because you have this here medal,
Yeah.
and because you and I are both somewhat like Strava guys, and we go and do the
let's plug this.
online thing, I would like to see this medal move around potentially. So if you would like to be the king of elk, you've got to beat Dan's time down elk and be the real king of elk. And right now, Dan's the king. So see if you can beat this guy.
Download Strava. Go to skateboard.
Strava.
Go to elk.
Strava, sponsor 35 All Grip. Skateboarding is the best. And actually, thank you for putting skateboarding in Strava.
Yeah, it took forever.
Yeah,
Jeez.
too damn long.
So I'm the only one on there right now. So
I'm on there.
Are you?
I
You
Strava.
did?
Yeah, well, not on elk, but I've done my Strava on soldier. So, yeah, I think it's kind of. I think they did it at Tepe one year, right? Where that was like the
They
way
did,
that
yeah.
people like qualified. So
I think it was they were under like the bicycle.
yeah, because
They were
skateboarding
mixed, but-
wasn't on the thing. But yeah, I think that it's a fun little tool we have out there just for a little friendly competition. Let's not get
Yeah.
anybody hurt, but let's have some fun with it.
Yeah. So go to elk, Strava it, and try and take the crown because I want to see the leaderboard get popping.
Right, yeah, no,
You know?
to see things moving around, that would be dope, yeah.
Someone comes to town like out of country and was like, "Oh
Right.
man, do you see their time on elk?"
So we'll have, like, if it does happen, like, I've got this antler is from my farm, so, like, my kids and I will walk around, we find, sheds and everything, so I've got a couple, so I you could still have yours and we could have one that floats as well.
Come get it.
Yeah, come get it.
All right,
Thanks, Dan.
over and out.
Over.
Thanks for listening.
Peace.
Fuck yeah, bud.
Yeah. Good times. That
Dude,
was
this antler's getting caught on everything.
Yeah, no, it's a lot.